when we walk, we move our hands. Do we walk with the hands? Definitely not. So why do we move our hands? Somebody said that it is a program in our head from the times when we were, according to some people, living in the jungle, the Stone Age or whatever age, we carry it. And that habit, which has gone in our instinct, makes us move our hands. Because at one time, this is what the biologists and the other people who know better, they say that we were on 4 legs, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And that habit has caught us. So where is it? It is sitting in our computer program. It's sitting in the instinct. Fight or flight, another phenomenon. We either fight, there are some people, they are still in that mode. They fight or they fly. Where does it come from? It is still sitting in our computer program. Where it is sitting, we probably don't know. It is somewhere there. So some aspects are still with us. Our memory, we have the images. I have an image of myself to myself. I have an image of myself to myself. You have an image of yourself in your computer program, in your memory. It is there. Now, my image to myself is not the same as my image to you. It's not the same. There could be some differences. So my image to myself, then my image of myself to you in my own mind. That is still another image. And probably there is something you can say, well, this is a real image. What image is most important to you? Your own image to yourself is the one which guides you all the time. That is the one which guides you. That is the one which directs you. Many times we see the people have their pictures in the newspapers, or the yearbook is published, and everybody's picture is there. And everybody thinks that my picture would be seen by all. What do they think? My picture would be seen by all. Everybody is going to look at my picture. And you know what really happens? They open the book and they look at their own picture. Other pictures are there. I look at myself and I say, well, I have to put on this tie and this jacket. I'm going to look good. Probably my wife might look at my picture. Or vice versa. But we look at our own picture, we go through the world looking at our own picture all the time. This gives us a kind of locked-in view. We lock into this view. I look at the lawn of my neighbor, then I look at my own lawn. Everybody looks at their own lawn. Everybody looks at their own picture. Everybody looks at their own image. And this image is the one which keeps on guiding us all the time. If this image is improved, where is the image? What is the image? What are the constituents of the image? What are the constituents of the image? Image is there. Where does it come from? It's your own mind. The computer has stored the data in your own mind. The data of the past, it's still there. But the most important files, if you call it a file or if you call it a memory, you call it an image, the most important image is that. The file number one, or image number one, whatever you call it, it is still in your computer. Is the mind just like a computer? Or is there something else in that mind? What is this mind? What is this mind? Mind is the cause. Mind is the cause of your actions. Your thoughts are the cause of your actions. My thoughts are the cause of my actions. They're always there. The mind is the cause. Human being is nothing. Listen to this. Human being is nothing but mind. We're all minds. The collection of our mental thoughts makes us what we are. Haven't we seen some people, some very, very good looking person, but contaminated mind? It's the mind which is controlling his personality. It's the mind which is controlling his personality. I may say in Sanskrit the word is manav. Man is really derived out of a Sanskrit word, manav. And in Sanskrit, manav is defined. I'll just use one Sanskrit sentence, but then I explain that in English. Manah asti samanava. Manah asti samanava. Whosoever has a mind is the man. And you can definitely look at this. You can definitely contrast this with animals. Animals have more instinct. They do have some mind. Potential mind is there. But they're really having instincts. They work by the instincts. Now, some of the things which we do are also in our instincts. Like moving our hands is in our instinct. The fight or flight is in our instinct. When we go beyond fight or flight, a higher level, if we go on a higher level, we come into the realm of human beings. I'll try to take a little time to give you these details. The senses are possessed by animals. Senses are possessed by animals. The mind in the beginning level, perhaps, to some extent. In elephants, the mind is there. In dogs, the mind is a little more. They are there, but not totally developed. Not totally developed, not totally extensively developed. The human being is the first one who has a thinking power. There is no thinking power with so much with the animals. The dog, cow, elephants, lions, not so much. But there is a varying degree. They learn more, they do more by instinct. We go beyond. Where it is in our computer program. It is also in your mind, image number 2, and that image in my mind is the number 2. In your mind doesn't matter to me. What image I carry matters to me. So where do you pick yourself? What is higher than the mind? Well, in the Indian terminology, it's very well developed, extremely well developed. India, if I don't tell you this, you would not know this. But India is a giant in spirituality. India is a giant. Let me repeat that. I did not think like this the day I entered this country. But today, after learning and reading, today I am certain. I could take debate with anybody. India is a giant in spirituality. What I am going to tell you, they develop further. 5 senses, where if you go on a history of nature, if you go back to history of nature, even there we'll be able to find it out. Initially there was this unicellular organism, one-cell organism. That's how the evolution started in water. Then go on developing, building up. The bodily development was the first stage. Physical development was the first stage. Developed. When they came to the birds, the mind developed. Before that, physical development, big dinosaurs, the bodily development. The second phase was mental development, emotional development. The birds started giving grains to their babies, and that's where the emotion came into being. That's where the emotion came into being. That's where the mind came into being. And this mind is the second development. The third development is the intellect. The age of intellect. You might have heard this word. Age of the intellect. This is the current age. We are going through. Age of intellect, age of reason. It developed with mammals, especially human beings. And human beings develop too. And there is no question about this in the minds of the biologists, in the minds of the evolutionists. There might be some questions in the minds of some others, but there are no questions in the minds of these people. So they developed into intellect. So what is the next stage? Next stage is the stage of spirit. Atman, spiritual development. Where do we see it? We see it in few individuals in this age, like Jesus the Christ, or Ramakrishna, Ramana Maharshi, Yogi Arvind, and other Dada Bhagwan, with which I am getting more and more, due to the great, the Netaji talked about, they are giants, and they really know it, because they've gone through, and I'm nobody before them, I would tell you. But this is the next stage. It's going to come. It started showing up through some great personalities, and I named few, and there are more. There are more in them. So the next stage is the stage of spirit, or Atman, the realization that these people may have. He knows so much that I cannot match myself with his knowledge. I truly mean that. It is not something which I'm saying this out of a fake modesty. I really understand that. And I took him around yesterday to go around and the way he was explaining. Unbelievable. So this is the stage which is going to come. But where is our computer? The mind is a computer, yes. But mind is also not like a computer. in the second part. Mind is a computer. If you are trapped in the mind of the computer of the mind. But if you go beyond, naturally you are out of that stage. Where does it happen? How does this happen? How do you go to the next stage? Well, India has shown the way also. That's meditation. What is meditation? Meditation is shutting myself from the five senses. How am I connected to the world? I'm connected to the world through the five senses. I see you, I see this hall, I park in the parking lot number 9, all these things are in my mind. Therefore, I am at UMass Dartmouth. Why am I at UMass Dartmouth? Well, I see them. I hear you, or you hear me. I'm connected with the second sense to this world. I see, I touch, I feel, I smell, I eat. Five senses connect me, five senses connect me to the world. Make sure you understand that. Five senses connect you to the world. So what does the meditation do? You go into a quiet room, quiet place, and there are descriptions. In Indian books, scriptural books, there are descriptions. There are at least 18 methods by which you can meditate. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to say this. So meditation, you go into a room, now what do? You shut your five senses. You close your eyes, you shut one sense. You go to a quiet room, you shut your second sense. You are not eating anything, you shut your third sense. You don't smell anything, or you do not forcibly start breathing like this. You are disconnected. This automatic breathing is okay. So five senses you shut, then you collect yourself. This is what the scriptures are saying. Collect the five senses, bring them to the mind, inside. And you say this, let me go deeper, let me go deeper, let me go deeper. You will end up in the mind. Through the mind, you go further down, further in, further inside. You end up into your intellect. Then again you go further in. It happens, you end up in your soul. We are connected, all of us. We are connected. We are connected to the super source. As this bulb is connected to the electricity, the radio could be connected to the electricity. This bulb is also connected to the electricity. The energy, the prana, the atman, the energy which is energizing us, is connected to us. Or we are connected to it. We are connected to it, therefore there is a way by which I can go back into my own mind and get connected to the soul. Are you people with me? Understand this. We go to the soul, go to that level. Once we go to that level, you know what happens? What happens when I meditate and what happens when the people meditate? You call them, they cannot respond. You ask them, what is your name? They will not respond. They cannot respond because they cannot identify you with the name. There is no more Indian, there is no more American, there is no more Hindu, there is no more Christian, there is no more Muslim. They go into the level of soul. When you reach that level, the knowledge of being the soul automatically flashes on you. Because you are not identified. You get absolute knowledge and it shines on you. So it is the higher stage. There are stages like this. Patanjali, our Patanjali Yoga Darshan, 156 sutras, they talk about it. In the initial period, it is a physical yoga. Everybody thinks that physical yoga is the end, that is the start. Physical yoga is the start. It ultimately ends up in your mind, into life. And then there are siddhis. Now, I'm nobody to talk about these things, but by reading, I know. By reading, I know. It is second-hand knowledge. It is not the first-hand knowledge. Second-hand knowledge. They talk of siddhis. Now, how the siddhis come around? If you become God, what happens to you? Everybody is equal to you. Everybody. There is no Muslim, there is no Christian, there is no Hindu, there is no Indian, there is no American. All human beings are equal to you. Now what do these people say? Achieve that level, that if all the human beings are equal to you, you automatically are going into that level. This is how the siddhis are attained. Siddhis means the powers, excuse me. I should say that. The powers, extraordinary powers. And these things are happening even today. I would not go into detailing you any of the incidences, but this happens to the people. They get the siddhi, they get the power. Now these powers, these people do not show you their powers. They don't. Because they don't belong to the world. These people live in the world. I've seen some. I've had a few guests in my house. You see them. They live in the world. Listen to this one. They live in the world. The world is not living in them. They are in the world, but the world is not in them. Literally, I've seen the people. I've seen three, not one. I've seen three people like that, three great people like that. I brought one of the gentlemen. He came on 26 January, somewhere in 1978 or 79, somewhere there. He visited me. He was so knowledgeable. He came only with what do we call dhoti, and nothing on the top. One shawl and one dhoti. No shoes. 26 January. And this guy walked on snow, walked. On the coldest day, I parked in a parking lot number 2 here. I told him, look, I'll drop you off at the building because he had no shoes. He said, it doesn't matter. He walked bare feet. I'm telling you, first-hand witness. And my wife is here, she could tell you the same thing. This guy walked, when he went to Jersey City, he walked 20-some blocks. Because what were his vows? He would not touch money, number one. He would not take money. He would not touch money. He would not have shoes. That's second thing. And he walked. I've seen this guy. I've seen this guy. He lived. People had questions. They visited me. People had questions. They said, oh, you have this question you were asking. My friends, these people told me that before we went to his room, our questions were dissolved. I don't know what that means, but this is what the people told me. So this gentleman, this is where we are. The mind is there, and the mind has viruses. Our computer program, the memories, whatever we have, we also have a filter. We all have a filter. What kind of filter do we have? The filter filters out the things which we dislike. It filters out. If you look at something, you say, well, I don't want to see this. You see somewhere else. Why you don't look at that? Because you hate it. You hate that thing. If you looked at that for a long period of time, it would enter your mind. And that is the thing which bothers you. It enters your mind and then contaminates your mind. It contaminates your mind. So this This is the reason why you don't like it. Because filters are there. You go to great people. This Vivekananda came to this country and somebody took him to some dancing thing. He went over there and he looked at it, he is looking at the dancer just like a dog. Now where? That is a filter. That is the filter. So we have to have our own filter. You stop doing the things, stop looking at the things. Stop looking at the things, that filter will work. Partly, the filter can also work by bringing in the positivity in your mind. I give you this example. If whole day, from the morning to evening, morning to evening, even after sleeping, I carry only dynamic thoughts in my mind. Remember, dynamic thoughts in your mind. Automatically, your actions will be dynamic, and some of those actions will result, not all, but the results will also be dynamic. So it is your mind which controls you. It's like a bottle of water, and the water is not transparent. Water is, say, red, then the bottle looks red. We say, oh, the bottle is red. The water is not red. The water is red. If the water is yellow, the bottle looks yellow. If the water is green, the bottle looks green. The color changes according to the thoughts. And therefore you look at a movie and there is a Buddha, the real Buddha. and in a movie there is an actor Buddha. Many times I look at the actor Buddha and he looks more like Buddha to me because he put on all the makeup and everything. Now tell me this, what is the difference between the two? It is their mind, it is the content of the mind. Are you with me?
Yes.
There is a Buddha and the real Buddha and the fake Buddha, the actor Buddha. The actor Buddha looks like Buddha and the real Buddha is Buddha. The reason is the mind, the content of the mind. So content of the mind is changed, automatically the human being is changed. And what we are talking about and what my friends and spiritual people also are saying, changing your mind, you will be able to change yourself. But there are ways to change the mind, and I will not go into that. So we would prolong, and my time is already done. I thank you very much for listening.